of this, here's the truth about the matter. Every single complex on Maui right now is filled with people having the time of their lives. They could give a crap about sea level rise and sandbags on the beach, whatever. They are just having the time of their lives. That is the truth about Maui, right?
That is a fascinating truth.
We do all these deep dives into the nuances of the complexes, and Kahana Sunset's got sinkholes and the F building's falling into the ocean. And guess what? I go to Kahana Sunset today. There's people jumping in the water, having a great time, right?
Can't be deterred.
That's the magic of Maui right there, my friend, is all of the thoughts and prayer, whatever's going on. It's just, there's still people enjoying the crap out of themselves.
So that just tells you no matter what you're thinking, other people are thinking differently. You may be thinking investment mind or you're worried about special assessments, this and that, and other people are just trying to have a vacation, just trying to have the time of their life, just trying to create memories with their family. And that can be done kind of any way, which shape or size, right? I mean, I've spent a lot of time backpacking in Southeast Asia, and you go to Philippines, Vietnam, these places, I mean, the ocean looks amazing. But these local brothers and sisters are out like surfing on styrofoam coolers, and I mean they don't have all the gear and fancy stuff, but they are just having a good old time, right? So it just seems like the ocean for a lot of people. I mean, you kind of get two sets of vacationers on Maui. You get the people that have never been, and it's a dream trip. And no matter what, they're going to enjoy it. It's going to be amazing, but they're probably going to say it's expensive. You know that. And the other people are the ones that just keep coming back time and time and time and time again.
All the
And
return victims.
they know their spots. And so yeah, when you're talking about sort of icky things in some regard, right? There's a couple of dogs of units that we've looked at recently, and you go to the Airbnb and they got 5-star reviews across the board. I mean, it looks like grandma's inside in terms of the furniture. The view's okay, but the 5-star reviews are just boom, boom, boom. Amazing, fantastic, great service, the unit, the view, voila. You know, and a lot of those people are coming from Minnesota or somewhere in the Midwest. They're loving it. So it's interesting to kind of have that conversation. Whereas some people be like, "Oh, that's an ugly unit. It doesn't do very well." You know, the reality says differently.
That's it, man. And, you know, the experience is more than just the week or the 10 days or the 14 days that they come over here. It starts with the planning, right? And then typically 6 months of buildup or 3 months or whatever. And, you know, you get your crazy LA people. They're just like, let's just go for the weekend. And they just take off and they do it, right? These Gen Z kids, they're just crazy, man. But that's it. Like, you know, really looking forward to it. Like, you know, I got Amalfi Coast coming up. I just know my wife is just like looking so forward to it. I'm a couple months out before I really start doing my deep dive. But that is the experience that a lot of us need to remember. Same thing when I'm going to Kauai. Dude, I cannot wait for end of month next month. My birthday gonna be in Kauai. I mean, I need to get off this rock, man. Gonna be taking off in a couple weeks to go celebrate with my mother-in-law in Arizona. So got that to look forward to.
It's always a good time
See,
when you get off the island, right? So things start to
yeah, you
happen.
know,
Everybody wants to call. People want to go see things, show properties.
that's how I generate business. I leave the island and then Murphy's Law calls me and says, "Hey, you forgot about your business over here. You got to come back." So I embrace it.
Speaking of showing properties, Johnny, let's dig into that a little bit because that can be an absolute headache, right?
Well, I cut my teeth in Arizona, right? And everything was on a lockbox there. And then once you hit like the $2 million mark, well, then all of a sudden the listing agent would be there with you because they wanted to make sure that the place was secure and you're not taking all the prescription drugs out of the medical cabinet, all that stuff, right? But man, over here, it's like it took me a little bit to get used to because now not only am I trying to schedule around the availability of the unit itself, but now I got to make sure that this people to a decision that you've never met before that I actually have a little relationship with. Because that's sometimes what it's like, man. Within 10 minutes of being in the place, they're doing trial closes on my clients. Like, how do you feel about it? Do you see yourself here? Is this something that you want to experience? Is this in your price range? And I'm like, I mean, it's a $5 million place. They may need 10 more minutes to decide. I don't know. I mean, it's not
Or
timeshare,
10 more
guys.
hours. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm quiet. I just let them do their thing because the more people talk, the more information comes out sometimes, right? Especially the ones that talk a lot. But it's a fascinating kind of thing. I mean, I had one today. I'm reaching out. It's a very, very inexpensive condo, but it does have a tenant in it. But the question I got was, how serious are they when I put in the request to show it? I'm like, well, they're serious enough that they want to see it. We don't know how much more serious we're going to be until after we see it, because this is how we make our choices with places that we want to live in. We need to experience them. And the thing that drives me nuts is that if they weren't there, I could speak freely with my clients in the space that we are in, that we can point towards tangible things and say, I like this, I don't like that. More importantly, I want my clients, the buyers, to start developing an emotional attachment or show me an emotional aversion to it, right? Because I look for a look. I'm pretty good at sensing it. In fact, I thought that I saw the look last week, and then I was told that we didn't have the look. But then today I knew, okay, the look, I saw the look, it was there. So anyway, that's how it works. But yeah, just kind of the fun that we deal with here on Maui. Just know about 90% of the time you are going to be in the presence of the listing agent. So what do we do with them there? Well, we put them on the spot and we start making them a little uncomfortable. Tell me about the special assessments. Is there room in the offer with your clients? Why are they selling? Why are you doing this? That's what we do. That's how you play it.
Put them to work. They want to
That's
work.
right.
We'll put them to
You
work.
gonna be here. You gonna be here. I'm gonna put you on the spot. So hey, tell me about the last 2 times that this fell out of escrow. It's always fun. Oh, it was at no fault of the seller. I realize that, but whose fault was it? Tell me a little bit about the story. It's good
So
times.
it's a fascinating game. I mean, there's so many nuances to trudge through, and then now we got this as well. Another deal that we're involved with in the escrow process. All the contingencies are pretty much done. It is a vacation rental. The clients have signed a rental contract to work with the property management team. That property management team just wants to go in and do a little inspection, see what they're going to work with. The seller says, no, they might mess something up. That's an interesting thought. Property management team who has the interest in the future of this property is going to mess up the unit now. Why? Why would they do that?
Yeah. Why don't you recognize that this is part of due diligence that allows my clients to continue the emotional attachment they have, which is exactly why we have these contingency periods. And it's really on the agent, but the agent was kind of just like going along with it. And I'm like, this is a little uncomfortable for me, but this is part of my due diligence period here. Help me understand. So yeah, it's
This is
all
what it
very,
feels like
very
to me
interesting.
is as agents, we are professionals to coach and advise our clients through this process, through the decisions. And a lot of times it just doesn't feel like anyone's had the conversations of what to expect. Hey, people are going to want to come for showings. Hey, if you have tenants in there, we need some sort of flexibility. Like, is there certain dates and times maybe that the tenants are absolutely available to show the unit? Like, hey, can we just say Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 o'clock? Some sort of create some sort of expectation, or even, hey, they're in the contract, everything's good, like they need to do X, Y, and Z still. Like we just need to be prepared for that. It just feels like everyone's kind of shooting at the hip, don't know what to expect. Another listing we're working on, hey, we always try to get the seller's disclosure out, and the reality is seller doesn't want to do seller's disclosure until it's under contract. Well, at that time, now we're in a rush, and now we're scrambling to get seller's disclosure done. There is a rhyme or reason to do a lot of things, and it's interesting when there's a mind of its own.
Well, so I just sit in this space here and I consider artificial intelligence replacing me. And I'm like, I mean, you're going to really have to be able to deal with American style complaining because it's a whole different level of expectations here. It really, really is, right? I mean, the restaurant screwed it all up with the free dessert. That's what messed up the whole American culture around complaining because now we really expect like 20 grand off for something that you did bad to me in an escrow, right? Just fascinating.
But I gotta
Man.
say, you do feel a little bit weird when nothing is done. When
Right.
nothing is done to accommodate some sort of ick, you feel a little bit off, right? Like the other day, I'm out for kanji, it's rice porridge, and they literally spilled a whole bowl of soy sauce on my lap.
And they
They
just walked away.
They just walked away. I was in Italy having pizza. They dropped a whole beer on my lap. Pizza
Just walked
spilled in my
away.
face. Just walked
See?
away.
See? This is not American style complaining. American
I
style
was just like,
complaining.
whoa. I
Yes.
have to live with this. Now I got soy sauce pants the rest of my day. By the way, I was wearing white pants on my way to church. So yeah, awesome. Awesome. This is great. But yeah, I mean, you do feel a little bit of care and concern when someone's like, okay, hey, that one's on us today. Thank you. I'm so sorry. But you
I've
just walk
literally
away.
been I've literally been complaining to the person in India and demanded that they send me back to somebody in America specifically. The minute the American came off, it was like T-Mobile. She's like, "How about I give you $20 off?" I was like, "Perfect. Now I'm satisfied. Let's go."
Well, what are you gonna do with AI, John? You're like, I don't like you. Hey, Anthropic, Claude, I don't like you. Can you give me Grok now? Grok, you're worthless today. Give me ChatGPT. Just give me the other guy. Does he work a little
This
bit better?
this is the space that we work in. And everybody feels like, what do I need a realtor for? And yeah, just start getting into some sort of discussion with your buyer if you're the seller and have it involve money, and you'll find out exactly what value I bring to the
Well, we
conversation.
mentioned it last week on one of the shows, Johnny. We said the job is not finding the property. The job is eliminating the options and then providing the insight that the MLS doesn't show, right? The nuances in the condo docs that are missing, that people didn't realize are missing, that we're still waiting weeks and weeks for. Preliminary titles that were 1 month into escrow and nobody's provided a preliminary title. And we looked at the preliminary title. That's when the job really begins.
That's right. That
It
is
goes
right.
goes
Every
beyond finding the
escrow,
property.
every escrow is merely an opportunity to see if this property is the right one for you. And that literally is what the whole thing is. I mean, it starts out, we can put a whole bunch of effort into it. We get involved in the deal, we're in escrow, and it may not work out, right? And that's where I feel that we are going to be different is I create situations where you can have it. That's really it. I really want an attaboy, and I want the attaboy to stay. I don't want the attaboy to be, 1 week after escrow. I
I
want
want
it
you
to
to be stoked about
stay
it
there. That's it.
for months and
But I
years
want,
until
I
you want to sell
really,
it.
yeah, I really want you to be able to say, man, you know what? I mean, I had every opportunity to get out of this thing. John really, really did that for me. And that's what we do. It's all about just standing next to somebody so that they can make a choice for themselves. You're never going to hear, don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. It's going to
It's
be
just how
more
we
of,
do
hey,
it here.
yeah, no, it's going to be like, okay, let's talk about this. Is this a deal breaker for you? Like, how important? Because I need to know within certain periods of time, because that's when I can do stuff. And even when I don't have the periods of time, just know I got another contingency plan in the back of my head. I always got a nuclear option, gangy.
It's got the
I
back
have a
pocket.
nuclear option. That's right. So that's my curmudgeon for the day.
Speaking of that, Johnny, what do you think? Let's jump into a little bit this idea that hotel zoned properties are stabilizing in price, whereas the non-hotel zoned are kind of dropping. Do you think that's accurate? What are you kind of seeing in that? What did we originally say when this
Yeah,
first started 2 years
right
ago?
when right when Bisson came right out, Governor Green makes the new law. Bisson comes out, explains his intention. Bill 9 is that's when it gets created in the minds of Maui County, right? And you and I, looking at it from a bird's eye view, made the comment that we are now at the bottom of hotel zone pricing, and we are at the top of Minatoya List pricing at that particular time. All right. And so far, it's played out fairly well that way. We always have some hotel zoned options that have really fared well throughout the entire chaos. However, it is a nationwide chaotic kind of market. Would you agree? And that had something to do with low interest rates, but also wars, price of gold, Trump being just somebody that brings uncertainty to everything that he does. It just is how he operates. And I think it's on purpose a lot of times. It's how he gets deals done. But markets don't like these things, right? So my whole point is that hotel zone is still being affected, not seeing real crashes, but also not seeing, yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing anything super crazy for dealish right now, hotel zone, quite frankly.
Yeah, it feels
Seeing
pretty stable,
it
as someone
does.
dropped a comment. It feels pretty
Yeah.
stable. I mean, there's
There's
some slight.
one-offs, right? There's these one-offs that happen, but it's what we've talked about is that there is still an easy, if you were able to see it like we see it from an air traffic controller place where I literally see every single comp in one snapshot at one particular complex, it is so easy to see the behavior because there literally is just one or two sellers that are truly in it to sell, And then there's a bunch of somewhat uncomfortable sellers that are like, "Ah, you know what? I mean, I'll throw it out there, and if I get this number, I'll take it. But if I don't, I could make it work." And that's why you don't get the deals, because you have sellers that are like, "I'll sell if I get this." It's not, I have
Make me
to sell.
move.
That's it.
It's the
There it
make me
is.
move
It's the
Zillow
Zillow
function.
name my price deal. That's exactly. And that is what the vast majority of the condo market's made up of today. It really, really is. But there's one-offs, but still, it just
But
shows the power of Maui.
that being said, we haven't quite hit that point in time, Jonny, where hotels owned are like skyrocketing. I think some people have that thought that, hey, at some point hotels owned are going to go through the roof. We're
There's a
not
big reason for
seeing
it.
that because
It's
they're limited. There's only so many of them.
Well, we have low occupancy on the island. That's the problem, right? If everything's high occupancy and we're at 90%, hotel zone goes to the moon. That's the problem right now. High rates, high AOAO fees, high uncertainty, low occupancy. So all of that still is uncertain. And that's why we've been preaching, like, Lahaina Shores, man, I've been preaching about it for a year and a half. Now starting to see prices appreciate right after we started talking about
They
it.
are starting to go
However,
up a bit.
that was never going to be a sure thing, walk in and start printing money situation. It was going to be, this is an attractive purchase price. You will need money behind you to float through the section of time until the town comes back and the visitors start coming back. And those are the types of opportunities that we're seeing right now. And the average American and most people don't like to get involved in these types of situations. We all say we want the deals, but getting involved in deals are these times right now, and it feels very uncomfortable because you just don't know, what is it going to continue to go down? Is it going to do this? And everybody wants to buy at the bottom. And so,
Nobody wants to ever lose in this game,
that's
Jonny.
what it is. They don't want to pay
But
too much.
it is a speculative market, just like stocks or gold or some of these other things. It's not every time everybody's going to win, right? We hear often, right? Real estate always appreciates, real estate always goes up, but the reality is some people lose.
Well, I can just tell you what the psychology was like in 2022 and working with people then, and how people were just coming out of the woodworks and saying, "I'll take anything and I'll overpay for it and I don't need any protection, John. I'll just take it." Like literally just a mania. And now I'm really sitting in deal territory. I'm 50% down in some places from values from that crazy period of time. And all I've got is deer in the headlights, right? Because here's where our herd like kind of, tendencies start to come up. It's like, are you going to do it first? Or, like, is it safe now? Are you gonna? That's kind of what it feels like right
Who's going
now.
to blaze the trail for me, right?
That's where it is.
Blaze
And
the trail.
that's why, the bottoms are in the rear view market, because by the time everybody feels like, "Oh my God, we've hit the bottom," it's already happened. And the reason why we're feeling that way is because people are now more collectively seeing the deal. And then that's when we take off. And it's just hard to time, guys. I mean, I'm not going to be an expert at it because all I can tell you is about what's happening right now.
Don't know
Right. And
when
then
that
speculate
switch
on
is
the
going to
future.
flip
Don't. And I mean,
and people go crazy.
I reflect on that with the fire market because I completely was taken by surprise when that market really just ended. And it kind of ended in
Poof.
August of 2024. And it came to me pricing something using a strategy that I thought would cause competition. And it really ended up just being the market value at that time. And that's when I was like, ooh, this market just changed.
Those people moved quick.
That's it. So this is the fun ride we get to take on together, guys. I
It's a
won't be
fun ride.
predicting the future, but I'll be telling you all about the weather as we're experiencing it together.
So what is the philosophy, Jonny, behind getting involved with Maui? When should you get involved with Maui? Is it only when it's down, only when it's up, only when should you get involved in Maui?
Well, so our particular specialty is working with people that are retiring, whether you live here already on Maui and maybe you want to downsize, or a lot of people that are coming from the PNW and getting a vacation condo, et cetera. The thing that a lot of people don't reflect on is you're retiring because you're getting older and you don't have time to enjoy your retirement. So if you've saved up the money, and it feels comfortable to purchase this, and you can see value in enjoying a lifestyle on Maui, that's when you pull the trigger. But for the people that do get involved on Maui, they're so good at investing and accumulating the money, and that creates such a sense of security for you that it actually becomes difficult to actually then spend the money. And that's where you hear about like retirees. It's hard to take the disbursements. It's hard to actually cash out on it because, still speculative, right? Still invested. The market could just crash on me all of a sudden, but that's that. Something that one of our clients made mention to me, it was kind of funny in terms of timing, but we were pursuing something that caused them to cash out of the stock market. And then the market dipped and they actually celebrated that they had done the cash out because they felt, okay, we captured this money at the peak and we cashed out at the right time. So you should only buy real estate when it is comfortably affordable. Everybody
To
always
you.
looks at equity. What's that?
Comfortably affordable to
For
them.
to them. You're the
Yes.
only one that feels it, right? You saved up 5, you're spending 2. I mean, does that make you feel good? Should, right? So that's when anybody should buy it. I think a lot of times we all just focus on equity, meaning values going up, and we forget that it's an asset that we're actually paying off on time or that we just cashed out and reinvested funds into, and now it does sit there as a store of wealth in some way, right? But everybody wants to play this, get in low and sell high. And I feel that's the area that we're in right now.
And the reality is not everyone does, right? I mean, we're looking at some comps recently because you're doing showings over the weekend from someone on the show and just looking through the comps, right? I mean, you got properties that were 600,000-700,000 in 2018, 2019 that went up to a million, 2 million, 3 that even a year ago people were paying a million for that are now down into the 800,000. You're like, there was a cycle where people there was one I looked at, Jonny, at this particular complex. Someone bought it for 1,000,001. They turned around and sold it 20 days later for 1,000,002. 20 days later. And now it's worth less than that. So people are buying at all different stages. And the reality is some people are enjoying their Maui experience, Maui retirement. Once you're in, you're not thinking about that too much, right?
That's really what you should be investing for is I'm investing in the way that I feel when I am on Maui. That is my ultimate investment. And I want more of that. And I want control of that. I want to be able to tell myself when I'm going to show up at my Maui zone, right? I'm going to go and fill up my Maui gas tank, my Maui tank. I'm so over this LA traffic or whatever. I'm tired of taking care of this big old Kula lot of mine, and I just want to, you know what I mean? So
Well, and
remember the
that's
benefits.
And that's the info that we've gotten on some of our research and polls and surveys that we've run is not any of the people who've responded have said income is the number one reason, which I think it's a changing mindset as well, because when I first got in the business, it felt like only income was ever the most important. Like if this thing makes money, done.
That
Now
was the
it's like,
darling,
well, it'd be
right?
nice if it made a little bit of money. It'd be nice if we paid some of the HOA fees, but if it doesn't, whatever. This is what we want. So that's a changing mindset. It's becoming more of a second home. It's a place that I enjoy. And that kind of plays in with how all the rules and laws are playing as well.
That's it. Agreed. I feel, people that are going to buy Maui really for Maui and not necessarily so much for income, there's an argument there that maybe they care for it a little bit more. You know what I mean? Not so much wear and tear, maybe feel more
They want to
community
enjoy it.
driven. Yeah. So
So last thought before we jump in the hot list, Jonny, I just seen Denise Costa, who is running for mayor against Bisson. She is one of us. She's a realtor. She just put out her Homes for Everyone housing plan, and she's trying to set up a debate with Bisson and his team of what is their plan for housing based on Bill 9, all these things, and what is her plan and what she's going to do. So the nuts and bolts of hers, repeal Bill 9 and utilize the funding to provide kind of down payment assistance and rent assistance for local families. That's the nuts and bolts of what she wants to do. The other side, we still don't really know what the plan is besides enact Bill 9 and get some apartment zoning. But beyond that, there's not much of a plan. So kind of interesting. So it'd be fun to watch. Do people get behind her since she's not necessarily a look local? Do normal local people get behind her and support this idea because it does benefit them pretty heavily? Or do they go with the tried and true and see what's up? But hers is free stuff too, bro. She's saying $100,000 down payment assistance, $500 to $100 to $1,000 rent assistance per family. I mean, that sounds like free stuff too. It's just allocated differently. Food for thought, bring that up. Let's go into Hot List. This is where we talk about kind of what's going on the market, some of the deals, but mainly it's really to introduce you to what to be aware of, what to look out for, what kind of the icks or the excitements about different complexes. So let's do it, Johnny.
Let's go.
This one's
There
been hanging
is.
out for a long, long while, Johnny. I think they started in the 4.5, 4.6 range. And we always said it's almost too big. It's almost too much money for someone to consider so much because there's 3 structures on this property.
Sometimes the compound gets to the point where you have to give discounts on each individual structure to move the whole complex, right? We like to develop where we have more things on one property because we feel that adds values, but then it gets to a certain point where you just can't pencil it. So 3 houses, all 3 full-size homes was my understanding, or some configuration, and where everything cost $1 million on Maui, you could see
We said last week, is there a price that anything becomes appealing to more people? And I mean, I got to imagine at some point 3 full structures,
in the fantasies
2.7.
of like locals wanting compounds, can you get 3 family members to hooey up here and do this? Because
That
that
seems
seems
like it
to
would be a
be
good
the
value.
opportunity, right? I mean,
You go
so
900,000 a property. That feels like a deal on 2.7 acres. But a lot of people are like, I don't need 3 properties, man. I don't need 3 houses. This could be the breath compound. Here we go. Well, if you keep talking about cooking, you're going to have a lot more new kids from the show showing up at your house.
I know. Here we go. Maui Cam. Dude, what were these things back in the day? I mean, a year ago they thought it was $1,299,000.
I think they went a million 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there is how high they went.
So I was just in one that's a 1-bedroom, 2-bath, no view, close to the pool, in great shape, double lanais, and I saw Christine just drop that thing to 650. So same complex. This one has the view. I get it. It's got the 2 bedrooms. It is on Bill 9 and Exhibit 2. So flip a coin, take your risk.
I mean, I think this has got to drop below $1 million before you're starting to see most vacation rental condos sub $1 million for 2 bedrooms, but these guys are still hanging out. So
There you have it. Now, they do boast a little bit larger square footage than most. It's a lush area, but does not boast a lot of views, right? Fees not too bad, but once again, not close to the ocean. This is basically across the street. The play here is Keavakapu Beach. All righty, man. 25V starting to come down, but we're still in the range with a couple of golf villas. Like nothing seriously hit the dirt or anything, right? Still listing 1 bedrooms, 2 baths at $1,150,000, and 2s at $1,500,000 to $1,800,000, and there's a 3-bedroom for $1,900,000. So just feels like everybody's sitting in the same space.
and they're hanging out at almost a year on market, 348 days. No pain. This went down to 74,000, Johnny.
Telling you, dude.
Leasehold REO
Yep.
needs a lot, but what is
It's
the
rough.
price? I think a few weeks ago I was like, just throw 50,000 at it. Let's go.
Curious, man. I mean,
Will
all
they
said and
take it?
done, you'd be looking at what, $3,000 a month, or 25 and change for, or wait, almost 3,000 for your fees and your lease rent, right?
I'm about 2,500.
There you go. So you write a check for it. Ideally, you'd want to get the taxes down. I don't understand why the leasee, the guy that's renting the land, pays the taxes for it. I do not understand that at all.
For the
That
land.
is, yeah, it makes no sense, man. I rent a house. I don't pay the property taxes. Bizarre.
It is kind of weird. $2 million deduction on 231 days, though. This one's still hanging out. But look at those views. I mean, Wailea Point commands some of the highest condo prices anywhere that I've ever seen, I think.
There it is. You want to own the White Lotus? This is how you do it, guys. 4 Seasons right there.
Got some big views, some lanais, all the features you want. Just 9.5 milli. These ones hanging out now for a while, Johnny. Look at this, 6 months.
What a cycle, though, huh? I mean, they complete them 2022-ish. I mean, dude, that we got to do a development at some point, Danny. I've got it in my wheelhouse, man. But then then like this girl that did all the sales, then she gets all the resales, right? Watch the same thing with Susan over at Honuakai. It's a way.
Same with the guys at Kamalani.
Yeah. And
But
nobody
then about
lives in
2-3
these.
years later, then
They just flip them all.
Oh yeah, most of these have been flipped 2, 3 times already, and it seems like the flipping game is slowly grinding to a halt.
It is. We're
100.
reaching. Well, for me, I'm like, man, do I just go buy Wailea Kai or something like that and get an actual house? That's where my head goes. 375, big $20,000 reduction. One of our favorite residential complexes with absolutely zero view for the most part, but it's just because of all the lushness,
Look
the
at that vibe, man.
amenities. Look at that, guys. Always has been residential. Just a cool space.
Studio action.
Super cute.
I think
It's
there's
on the
one they
ground
just dropped to
floor.
375 last week that went pending
Yeah,
over the weekends.
this one's the ground floor. Wailea Palms, once again, always been residential, right?
Always.
And then Palms at Wailea is on Bill 9 Exhibit 2 Minatoya List stuff.
So modernized it.
There we have it. 2 bedroom, 3 bath. Still going to have value, guys. It's in Wailea. It's always been residential only. So
Is it $2 million?
just because you can't vacation
Nobody's
rent
seeing it
doesn't
so
mean
far.
that's all right. Papa Kea, man. I've been in this one was for 700 and change. They should just fix that bathroom already, man. That's probably the big pushback. They will sell you the fee for 700 and change. So then you'd be at $1,050,000 for direct ocean front. Papa Kea, weird one where it's zoned hotel and apartment. Could all go away. Let's go buy 499, 450 at Kalea Aloha instead. Fee simple.
Options came down 150, still hanging out. So you see the pattern here on Maui is there's a lot of people that just hang out month after month after month after month because they don't need to sell it. They're okay with the monthly fees, the taxes, everything.
They're
still
basically
enjoying
saying,
it.
I will sell it for this amount and this amount alone.
So it's not like a lot of places where you're like, they've been on the market a year, let's throw them a low offer. They don't care.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't care at all.
Comps are weird in Maui. Wow.
Kalama Terrace, Jonny.
That's your view. I love it. Right
Yep.
there. That's the ocean view.
Not a
right
great
through
view.
everything.
Not a great condition.
But man, talk about affordability. I mean, now maybe a waiter, husband and wife, make a couple hundred together, start out right here.
Maui kind affordability.
Those fees, man, almost 1,200 for a 1 bedroom. Here we go. You can't sell them for 550, so I'm gonna come out at 800 and show you guys how it's done.
Oh, look at my
So
view.
did some updates. I don't see AC, but maybe
No,
it's
it's got a
there.
portable AC.
Okay, I got a little pull down bed there. I'm on a corner, so I understand all of that. I got carpet. 800. I got one to sell you for 540, guys. Okay, do a deal. We can do
There
a
you go.
deal.
You have all different kinds of prices at the same complex.
Here we go. Kihei Villages. Get it? It's cute. It's pretty. 565 downstairs.
They're trying to push the price on these again. They're coming down, coming down, coming down. Then you had a couple move quickly at 499. Now everyone's coming out in the fives. All different kinds of flooring material, something different in every room, different counters. It's a hodgepodge, but I don't see 565.
Nope.
Here you go, Jonny.
Not on Bill 9, not on Minatoya List, not Exhibit 2. Vacation rentable legally, though, because of zoning. I want to say what? Business? There's a funky one. Just like Kuleana.
Under $1 million.
There it is, guys. Right
Across
out the
street
gates.
from the ocean.
Right out the gates.
On the 6th floor, so you can see over Kalama Park there. Yeah, has for a while. Nice looking unit. Eat-in kitchen. How these bedrooms look. Oh, all kinds of interesting. Yeah. Nice looking unit. There's the island surf. And here we go, Jonny, who said last week, at what price does someone buy the worst unit in the worst building in the complex, right on the road, ground floor? And 549 got the attention. Someone bit.
We'll see what it closes for. I'm going to say maybe 500 cash. That's what I'm thinking.
And we got another one. This one,
Look
10
at
days
that.
on market, 625, Jonny. They undercut the recent comps, 649. Boom, they got an offer real quickly. And let me just tell you, it's under 600,000, the accepted offer. I know because I have access. So write the offer. Some people are ready to move.
Here it is. 1 bedroom, 2 bath, bro. That's just crushing.
$399. So that other studio came out at $375.
Is this the one that has the little loft? Is this Juliet?
I don't think this one has the loft. Oh, maybe it does. It's got the vaulted ceiling.
Right, for sure. Here we go. Little Lotus. Eric moves some product. He moves some product.
2,075,000. We'll take 2,020,000.
That's a bit of a deal for 3,700 feet, I'm going to say, man.
It's a big house.
Sure is. Pappy Kea,
And here
here
you
we
go.
go. Little bidding
Fee
war for
simple.
some reason. Don't know why. Doesn't need to matter to me. Here we go. It's
They hang
nicely
out for a
updated.
while, and then
Nicely
they go
updated.
bidding more.
There it is. Not 700 anymore for a
Nope.
1-bedroom, right? Here we go. Kihei Villages brought 600. That's a stunning example, though. Doesn't matter what they look like outside, guys. We'll show you harbor lights, man. I mean, they make them stunning once you get in.
How interesting, though. 120 days, 5,000 off. Got the 600,000.
Just how animal instincts work.
Just doesn't always make sense. So there you go. A little bit of longer show. A lot of info covered. We're here 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We drop a deal of the week on Thursdays. This is the Maui Hot List Hula Hand. We are Danny and Jonny of Dreams to Reality. Hui ho!
Hui ho!